Well, once again, Merry Christmas, everybody, and thank you for coming on this very, very cold night. We haven't had a cold night like this in a while. And in fact, the last time that the church celebrated a great holy day, namely Easter, none of us could be here. I mean, this is the first big holy day that we could gather. And we're grateful for that opportunity, and we pray for those who still are not able to come and be with us because of all the circumstances that are circumscribing our lives. Christmas is one of those things that a lot of people most people spend some energy on. You want to plan it, you want it to be just right. We have rituals, we have family events, we have all kinds of things we do to mark this out as very, very special time. And for most people, the usual things they've been doing have not been able to be done. And yet, Christmas is here. It comes, it happens. The other day, I was talking with Brother Juan, who's with me for this Christmas break, and we were just talking about each other's family traditions. What do you do at Christmas? What's familiar to you? I was telling him how when we were little kids growing up, there was something about Christmas Eve at 5 o'clock, right before dinner was to start. By that time in our house, everything had to be perfect. By that I mean the whole house was cleaned. We were working on it for weeks. You know that on my mom's side, I'm Dutch, and my dad's side, I'm Polish. So I got the clean gene on both sides. And so we would literally wash the walls and wax the wood floors and make everything exactly the way it needed to be. And then by the time we got to that moment on Christmas Eve, and we'd plug in the tree lights and have our dinner, and just the evening was great. We took our baths and sat in our pajamas eating cookies in the living room. And just at that moment, for that little brief moment, everything was perfect. And I remember that feeling, that moment, that period of time where there was not a care, everything was the way it needed to be. Those days are gone. It's great to have that as a memory as a child, and I realize not everybody has that. But Jesus was born not into perfection. Jesus was born into a mess. Bethlehem was a mess. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Son of God, you would think should be born in a palace, in a castle, surrounded by royalty and wealth and symbols of opulence. But instead, in a small town, in a cave, in an animal food trough, that's where you find Jesus. Jesus in the mess. For many people, these months have been extraordinarily messy. There are a lot of things we just don't like about how life has unfolded for us. And we resist sometimes that taking on that messiness. We don't like wearing masks. We don't like keeping distance from each other. We don't like washing our hands every 20 minutes. All those things, we just don't like it. It's an inconvenience. And it is. It's a mess. Most people are not able to do their holiday traditions like visiting family and traveling. And yet, that's where we find Jesus. In the midst of that craziness, in the midst of that mess, that's where he's born. When we were decorating the church for Christmas, and it looks beautiful, when we're decorating, you always get a couple of people that are working together, and they say, okay, move those flowers a little over this way, now turn them around. Okay, that's it. That's what we want. And that's great. I like being part of that. And our crew that decorated the church did a super job. It just looks great in here. I remember when we're setting up the manger scene and then finally putting some straw around here, and a little piece of straw ended up on the baby Jesus, and right away we had to take that off. We don't want straw on Jesus. And that's fine. We don't want a messy, crib set here. But Jesus was born in a mess. A manger is the food trough that animals eat out of. It wasn't straw in there, it was hay. Bethlehem was a mess, crowded with people who couldn't get in anywhere else. Jesus was born in a cave. And it's a sign to us that as much as it's important to try to order our lives the way we need them to be, as important as it is to follow the rituals that give meaning to our lives, in the end, those rituals need to point to Jesus. And sometimes Jesus is not where we think he's at. Jesus is in the mess. There are many people this Christmas who are having their first Christmas without a loved one with them in their family. And it's really hard to come to that day. There are other people who have lost jobs, other people who have lost opportunities. Some are losing their homes. And this is hard to say, why isn't Christmas wonderful, when in many ways for them it's not. Just the other day I was talking with somebody who grew up in a very different way than I did, and this person never had a Christmas tree in their house, never had any decorations in their house at all. Never had a tree because they never had any gifts. And even still, they don't know what it means to have a decoration. This person saw the inside of the church and said, wow, it has a different kind of feel to it. And I said, yeah, that's the whole idea, isn't it? It's amazing how many people do not have this experience of the beauty and the joy of a holiday, of a time like Christmas. And maybe it's because they expect what at some level we expect, perfection. And they don't get it in their lives, and so they think, what's worth celebrating then? So here we are, we're celebrating. So and this Christmas, as wonderful as it is, and I hope you all have a great opportunity to do the things, as many of the things as possible that give the holidays meaning for you. And I hope you find ways of connecting with loved ones, even if they might be far away. I hope and pray, I pray for you all the time that the Lord give you a sense of tranquility as we go through these difficult times. And I invite you to look in your own lives at what's not going right and see how Jesus is there in that mess. I've said to many friends already this season coming up, this Christmas should be the worst Christmas of my life so far. Things are not going well. My father passed away this summer. It's the first Christmas without Dad. Mom's gone a couple of years now. We feel kind of orphaned. I live in two places, so I feel kind of homeless. I don't know where I'm resting. And this is the first Christmas in my life where we didn't have the family together. My siblings can't get together. And so all the normal markers of Christmas for me are kind of off the plate. And yet it's so joyful to find that even in the midst of that, you know what, Christmas comes. It's midnight passed, and here it is Christmas. And the Lord is present among us, even in the midst of all of that. So this Christmas day and this Christmas season, I invite you to contemplate Jesus in the manger. Not just Jesus as a cute baby, but Jesus is the one who's found in the midst of the mess. Jesus is found not only in the beauty and the order of our beautiful sanctuary, but he's also found in the boxes down in the basement where all the mess is that led to all of this happening. Jesus is there. And of all times, this Christmas, more than any other, we're invited to seek him and find him there. This Jesus who came to be with us until the very end and beyond is the Jesus that is already with us even here and now. We celebrate his coming among us 2,000 years ago. We celebrate that he's here with us now. And we pray that that presence of the Lord with us at this Christmas time will carry us through whatever lies ahead for us, as hard as it might be, as much as we might resist doing the things we need to do, so that we can truly proclaim more than anybody in the world that needs to, as Christians, to say that Christ is truly with us, that Christ has truly come. And if we Christians aren't the ones carrying that message, then who will? Who will? So we carry Christ in our lives, in our hearts. We carry Christ in how we live. We carry Christ in the hope that we give to people who are otherwise tempted by despair. We thank God for that great gift. We ask Him to help us be those messengers, those proclaimers, so that we can truly believe the words of the angels and the prophets, Emmanuel, God is with us. Merry Christmas.